Please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Welcome back. Counting down to pre-open. Looks like at least for starters, we should have green on the screen. The SGX Nifty is up 46 points for now. Deven, good morning. I wanted to discuss IT stocks with you. Clearly, they are the new leaders for now. What would be on your buy list from the large cap and the mid cap space?
Yeah, Anuj, good morning. Yes, you are absolutely right. I think the IT stocks are showing signs of growth right now. Many of the companies are basically looking for the IT space, and particularly in the internet space. Companies with the platform-based approach, I think, are the preferred choice, I think, in the acquisition. That is what I learned for some of the larger companies. And that's where I think we put our efforts on and eyes on in the selection of the stocks. We have been liking few companies within the space, but niche businesses, and I think one of them I may have talked earlier also is a company called Infibeam. This is one company which is IT-enabled service provider for the e-commerce segment, with a complete bouquet of logistic to the finance in the fintech platform along with it, from a door-to-door delivery. So I think this is a company which provides a complete platform to anybody who basically wants to go e-commerce way. And that is where I think we find, I think such kind of niche companies would find higher amount of attraction from the investors. Similarly, I think some of the larger companies like TCS, Infosys kind of companies, they are talking about acquiring companies. Inorganic growth is the approach that they are talking about. And that's where I think the growth opportunity is being seen into those companies. So yes, I think within IT space, you will have to go selective in buying your choice companies into the portfolio.
Okay. Well, at the moment, markets have opened and it's a fairly decent shade of green. What stands out, of course, is telecom stocks. Idea Cellular starts with 10% gain. All that they have got is the ability to make the spectrum payments in 16 years rather than 10. And of course, spectrum caps have been increased. So that those stocks are celebrating. But otherwise, now it's a 0.5% gain. Let's see what...
Latha,
yeah.
I just want to make a point here. Bank of Maharashtra is down 20%. Now, yesterday, there was a WhatsApp rumor. It's just a rumor doing the round on, Videocon and Venugopal Dhoot that, there's 38,000 crore exposure, whatever. I just want to put it on record that it's a rumor. It's not official news.
Yeah, I got enough WhatsApp questions and I told everyone it's a rumor.
Yes. But, I just thought it's important to put this point on board because the stock is opening 20% lower.
Okay, and quite, yeah, I would think uncalled for. Yeah. But just looking at other stocks, Tata Steel is up 2.5%. Dr. Reddy's, Asian Paints, Bajaj Finance. So some of the marquee names are doing well, bouncing back. But let's wait and see.
Bhushan Steel is up 20%. That I think that story, the CNBC TV18 story has got confirmed. And that one's up.
Tata Steel is the buyer.
Yeah.
Yes.
A couple of more, and actually Bhushan Steel volumes also pretty high over there. A couple of other stocks that we're looking at this morning. The entire telecom space is in the green because of the news flow that we just told you about, that the telcos will be allowed to pay the deferred spectrum liabilities over 16 years versus 10 years currently. Amtech Auto is the other one that's moving with strength, 5% higher now. Liberty House has now emerged as the highest bidder over there. L&T Finance is in the news, up almost about 4.5% over there. So these are a couple of stocks that are looking pretty good this morning. And in terms of the market itself, it seems like we could be headed for a positive start, up almost 0.6%. But let's wait by for these rates to settle. Some order wins coming in from KC International as well. Manisha Gupta joins in now to give us a quick roundup of all that's happening in the currency space. Manisha, good morning. Happy Women's Day to you. Tell us what's happening in the commodity markets today.
Well, thank you for that, Sonia, and a very happy Women's Day to you as well. It is about the global markets that we are looking at in commodities, especially for the crude oil prices after 2% decline in the overnight markets. And this is after you saw an increase in the U.S. inventories. There is increase in U.S. imports and U.S. production has hit yet another record highs. That pulled the prices down. But in the Asian markets, we are trading 0.25% on the higher side right now. That's because of the weakness in U.S. dollar. Also, of course, there are concerns about the U.S. tariffs being imposed in this week itself. After it is signed, it would take 2 weeks for it to take an effect. So that is what the markets really are calculating right now. But apart from that, the latest, of course, is that Canada, Mexico, etc. could be exempted at least for 30 days and then see the progress on NAFTA talks, and there could be further extensions there. So there's plenty happening on the US tariff front, and this is what the markets are reacting to. There also have been statements from the European Union officials on how they are now making a report or a list on the products that are exported to US and what they could be doing in retaliation as well. We have seen similar statements come in from China, Japan, Canada, etc. So markets are reacting on an event or a statement-to-statement basis onto that. While you have seen the steel prices gain up, remember in the month of December, we were trading at $650 per ton for steel in the US markets. That is surged up to $800 per ton right now. Of course, the markets are pricing in expensive steel going forward, but that really is not calculating or spilling over in case of the base metal prices. Yesterday wasn't such a great day. You have seen the aluminum prices decline to a 3-month lows. Lead fell 2.5% overnight. Zinc was down nearly 2%. So the base metal prices have seen a decline overnight, and the Asian markets are trading very flat. There are actually no cues coming in from this sector in Asia right now.
All right. Thank you very much for that, Manisha. Well, the markets are now looking at a 0.5% gain. And, okay, yes, Bhushan Steel, Sunflag, and actually it's also a bit of a steel kind of rally because all the steel stocks are doing well. And, of course, the telecom stocks after that little bit of relief that they have got. We will discuss these issues as well. But for the moment, let's get you some FNO strategies as well. Today is also the weekly closing of the Nifty Bank futures. Manoj Mullidharan of Religare Securities joins us. Morning, Manoj. First up, Nifty Bank, is there a strategy?
Yeah, good morning, Latha. First, I'll wish everyone a very happy Women's Day. Latha, yes, this is the weekly expiry for banks, and if you see last couple of days, it was a bank Nifty which was actually pushing the Nifty, and we all know that 1/3 of your Nifty comprises of your banking stocks. Now, if you simply segregate the bank Nifty, the private sector banks, the weightage is around 67%, and there is a good ratio or an arbitrage which goes on between the Nifty and the bank Nifty, and we believe the ratio is at 2.37. So, if I have to compare the Nifty, we believe, Latha, we will be in a range of 10,300 to possibly 10,100. So, it's still a sell-on rise. A better way is you go out and buy a 10,100 put option. I guess you'll get it between 60 to 70 rupees. That is where you buy, keeping a stop loss of 25. And we're expecting a target of somewhere close to 140 on that. For the bank Nifty today, most important is in the first half, we are not really expecting major movement, you know. So, the premium dries up a lot. So eventually, we guess these levels of maybe a 640 to 680, that would be the level where we might see some resistance, and possible towards a 24,100, you know, 24,100 to 128, that should be the range that we're expecting. So if you get a bank Nifty closer to 24,400 to 500, we would recommend buying a put option of at the money strike, or you simply short that with a stop loss of 650, the target should be somewhere close to 150 on that.
Okay, well, for now, KC International is the one that we're looking at, the stock. Almost 1,400 crores worth of orders is what the company has bagged. And if you look at the split up, in the TND segment, they have about 800 crores of orders that they got, especially from Middle East and from the SAARC region. Deven, I wanted to come to you on this. You know, we've seen a slew of order wins from the entire sector, whether it's Dilip Bilcon, Ashoka Bilcon was the L1 in a big order as well, KC International. From this entire lot, what stands out as a good value buy?
Yeah, Sonia, I think we have been liking few companies, so I think not specifically from the list of the names which you have mentioned, sure, but companies within the electrical space. I think the capital goods suppliers like ABB, Schneider, companies are, I think, are interestingly positioned. We see an order book increasing for them and giving a visibility of at least for next 3 years, along with the improvement in the margin for these companies. So certainly I think we are going selective with the transmission and distribution space, and that's where I think we feel that higher amount of investment is also coming in, and these companies have reasonably good amount of visibility as far as I think the business is concerned. So we pick up such kind of companies in investment portfolios.
Okay. Well, just to get back to the markets, at this point in time, looks like the opening will be 10,210 plus. Its markets seem to have settled over there. And the Nifty Bank is at 24,273. So that should be a 0.6% gain. Ashwini, if this is the opening, what is the trade?
See, the trade is that you are getting a gap up. and at some point we should look for selling to return. So 150 point gap up, don't short at the open, but see as the rally kind of tires out, my sense is it will tire out around 10,230, 250 at least intraday, and that would be a good time to short.
Okay, and what would be your 9-10 call, Ashwini?
Well, for the moment, if you have to trade the first couple of hours, I think FMCG is picking up a whole lot, maybe as a defensive. So Britannia is a buy with a stop of 48.50, target of 5,000. But you know, once the rally ends, probably the financial will be the first shorting area.
Okay. Well, Deven, I wanted to ask you about the metal stocks. Do you still favor them? They've got a bit of a jitter from those trade war talks.
Yeah, Latha, I think still we don't have the clarity on that aspect, but I do believe that as a fundamental story on the metal space, India is basically favorably placed. On one side, we are seeing the larger amount of demand offtake because of the infrastructure projects. On the other side, international markets are likely to firm up with the prices on the metal. So certainly, I think the metal commodity companies would have better times going forward. India fortunately do not have as much of a share in the exports particularly, so I think one shouldn't be finding very uncomfortable kind of a situation for the industry in general. Maybe some specific companies may have a little higher share, but I think overall industry is not having as much of an export share, and that's where I think you are relatively safe if you are operating in a domestic market. On the other side, I think NCLT led proceedings happening and companies like Bhushan Steel going in the fold of Tata Steel. I think this is going to be a very positive move. On one side, the non-performing assets are coming out of the cloud and they are getting into the performance mode. And on the other side, I think the companies like Tata Steel would have the opportunity to have the best of the time in the rising commodity cycle with higher capacity coming into play. So I think one will go selectively into this space and buy the companies individually, I think, with the merits.
Okay, well, 3.5 more minutes to go before the markets open, and looks like it's going to be a good opening. There will be a trading pop expected on the telecom space because of the news flow. So Idea Cellular, Bharti, even something like a Relcom is up about 3% odd. But Manoj, you have a few ideas left. What are you looking at between large caps and mid caps today?
It's a mixed set of strategies that we are looking in. We guess PNB can be a good buy. We are expecting a trading bounce to come in. The weighted average price of 96.50 has worked good in terms of accumulation. So simply buy a 110 call option, you get it as cheap as 2 rupees. The target should be 5 rupees on that. So the range that we are expecting for PNB might be 96 to 107 to 108. We even like Tata Motors. We believe that this stock has a prudence to get into at least a 6 to 8% more. So somewhere close to 346, 48 is what it is, the last trading price was. So you can buy that. The stop loss should be somewhere close to 336, and a weighted average price of 374 is what we expect the stock can surge to.
Okay, well, we still have about 3 minutes for the markets to open. Sudarshan, what's your strategy if the market opens at 10,200? Are you trading the index at all?
Yes, I'm trading it on the long side. Half my positions I plan to take at the morning open, and the other half if there is a dip towards 10,200.
And they will be both long positions?
And both long positions, just adding on a dip.
Okay. Mitesh, now anything into your Ken, notably steel stocks, telecom stocks?
See, I think telecom stocks could be interesting. You know, a lot of these are oversold and are likely to give reversal. Both Idea and Bharti, I think while they might open 2% gap up, they are more likely to see some kind of follow through.
Okay. Ashwini, thoughts on a couple of other stocks, Jet Airways and Balrampur Chini?
See, first on metal stocks, the other day when we fell, and, you know, when this Trump tariffs again, you know, kind of the thing had lifted off, metal stocks were the first ones to fall. So today also I want to see this, whether the metals group starts to fall first. That will be the first indication it's beginning to turn around. Jet Airways still above 200, so that way, you know, possibly still you can buy around 620, 660, but that's more like an investment. Otherwise, I don't think there's much going on. Which is the other one?
Balrampur Chini.
Balrampur Chini, the story is over. I think it will get back to 50-70 zone. So that's in a clear bear market. The cycle seems to be over.
Okay, so that's on the sugar space, new lows over there. But Ashwini, I wanted to ask you about the biggest nifty gainer this year. Surprisingly, has been Tech Mahindra, up almost 25% now. Do you see better levels here?
See, IT has just come out of a long decline. So whenever the bull market also restarts, I think IT will outperform and banks will play a supporting role. So that way all declines on IT can be bought by investors. If there's one sector that you should start buying, that's probably IT.
Okay. Well, we still have 35 seconds and let me see if I can squeeze in one more. Bajaj Finance, Sudarshan, will you do anything with that stock? Is that an investment by now?
No, it would be, but not now. I don't think this market has bottomed out. We are just taking a long position for the day.
All right. I take your point. It's a long position for the day, and the others, Ashwini and Nitesh, are looking to short it at higher levels, probably 10,230, depending upon, of course, the strength and the intensity of the rise.